established treaties during the time of Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Elizabeth armed them with weapons that they actually literally invaded West Africa with, enslaving our people. And when Columbus actually, sailed to America, it was actually a Moor navigator that showed him how to get here. So, again and again, there's a lot of strikes against people that refer to themselves as Moors. You might have seen me use the term Tazadak Shah Bey, but the Bey was actually only added a few years later as a catalyst to try and attract these people that refer to themselves as Moors, who are essentially really Hebrew Israelites. You might have seen me use the term Tazadak Shah Bey, but the Bey was actually only added a few years later as a catalyst to try and attract these people that refer to themselves as Moors, who are essentially really Hebrew Israelites. You might have seen me use the term Tazadak Shah Bey, but the Bey was actually only added a few years later as a catalyst to try and attract these people that refer to themselves as Moors, who are essentially really Hebrew Israelites.
Not as a nation, because the empire of the Moors were inclusive of other nations. Because in here, the rise and fall of paradise, when Arabs, or it should be Moors, and Judeans or Jews built a kingdom in Spain. And in here, they tell you that wherever Islam was, the Israelites had already been there. Right? So now, let's take North Africa, Morocco, for instance. The Moroccan or Carthaginian civilization, when you go into where the indigenous people say they came from, many of them say they came from Canaan, and that they are the Canaanite people, and that those Canaanite people were Phoenicians, right? And the Phoenicians were in Canaan, and the Phoenicians and the Hebrews spoke the same tongue. The Moabites, they spoke almost the same tongue. Some other people in Canaan spoke almost the same tongue. If you look in a good unabridged dictionary and you look up the word Hebrew, it tells you that it's an Afro-Asiatic tongue. That Hebrew is derived from an African tongue. Now, the Moors, they tell you, and from the golden age of the Moors by Ivan van Sertima, it's an anthology of different scholars writing on the subject of the Moors. And in there, they tell you that the Hebrews were, in some of those, on some of those dissertations in there, they tell you that the Hebrews were part of the Moors. And in this book here, it tells you that the Israelites were already up in Spain, and that when they were down in Morocco, right, it was the Hebrews that told the Moors down there, the Islamic Moors, that if they come up, we'll show you how to get through and conquer Spain. So
how come nobody never talk about that history?
They don't talk about it.
I never heard that one before.
Right, but it's true. It's I want to read something to you.
Yeah. Give me the page, give me the name of the book.
The name of the book is The Rise and Fall of Paradise When Arabs and Jews Built a Kingdom in Spain.
It should be Moors.
Right, it should be Moors. And when I use the term Jews, it should be Judeans.
Okay.
Because Jew is a term that developed in the 1600s.
Okay.
And that
Peace, Prince.
and that term is exclusively for them, the white Jews.
Okay.
Legally, it's illegal for us as people of color to use the term Jew or Jewish. Now, it's more indigenous to us to use the term Judean or Judah.
Right.
Right. In this book, The Rise and Fall of Paradise, was by Elmer Bendender.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. In here, he says, page 33.
We do that so when people want to look up your reference
Right.
and see what you're talking about,
Right.
we go right to it.
Page 33. Vastly more important than any of these routine conspiracies was the attempted revolt of the Judeans in 694. The Spanish Judeans had planned it painstakingly with their fellow Judeans across the straits in North Africa, meaning Morocco. There were then a good many Judeans along the North African coast, including the descendants of those who had fled Jerusalem 700 years before, plus those who had gone into exile, goaded by the Visigothic persecution, plus many Berbers from the Atlas Mountains who had been converted to Judaism. It is impossible to reconstruct the complicated diplomatic and military preparations of that fateful year. In any case, the Judeans were betrayed by informers and the revolt crushed before it began. It was later charged, probably with considerable accuracy, that the Judeans had planned to establish an independent state of their own in Spain. It would have been a clear and simple solution to their desperate plight. Right. I'm gonna jump down. In 710, because the 711 is when the Moors made their incursions up into Spain. In 710, a rebellion tossed to the surface a king named Roderick, who would be assigned a major role in history, although he was to play his principal scene, a short one, in the arms of a girl. When Roderick was raging in the customary and bloody manner appropriate to the first year of a new administration, another political aspirant was struggling to hold his own as governor of a city in another part of the collapsing Roman Empire. That city was Ceuta. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Ceuta. Dr. Ben always focused on this city here because he said this was the turning point in history leading up to the modern time, because it was the Romans coming down into North Africa, right? And them trying to take North Africa, the Carthaginian Wars. So it's very important even for us right now today to even understand where our situation is today. We have to understand Moorish history. It's imperative.
Running around here in Morocco, calling this stuff what it's not. This ain't Israel over here. It's Morocco. Just Morocco. I mean, y'all answered yourselves in the own. I guess y'all know y'all Moors, but y'all branched off. Like we all was family, and then y'all was like, we not family. No, we still family. Just somebody got an attitude. But we still family. We still family. Islam. We still family. Ancient Semitic civilizations. Let's get it. The empire of the Israelite kingdom was but a historical interlude. I looked up interlude, it means a play. Somebody just made that up. It just made it up. It's not even real, it's fraud. It's fraud. The empire of the Israelite kingdom was but a historical interlude. That's fraud. That's fraud. They trying to say that somebody made that up. Maybe to cause confusion, like some of y'all doing now, causing confusion. I don't even know what for. Prophet came 100 years ago, 100 and some years ago. Ben told us, proclaim your nationality. But you saying your nationality is a corporation. Israelite, the state of Israel is a corporation. That's modernly input. And you're saying you're that. Or our people are that. In Palestine. That's Palestine. That's birthright theft. Now, the supreme god of Canaanites was El. I'm reading this because this is going to lead on to something else. The supreme god, and I know y'all know where I'm going. The supreme god of the Canaanites was El. This name is not of itself a proper name, but a Semitic common noun meaning God. El means God. The Canaanites called him El, which means God. The Canaanites. Not the Hebrew Israelites, which Hebrew in a dictionary means those who crossed over. Well, who crossed over? Who crossed over? Because Hebrew is Ibri in a dictionary. If we're gonna talk, only way we can know what we're talking about is if we used a dictionary, so we can figure out what words meant. Hebrew, which they say now Hebrew is not even a Hebrew word. If we're gonna talk like that, Hebrew is not even a Hebrew word, because we're gonna go into that too. Because it can't be those who cross the river language. Who are those people who cross the river? That's the name of the language. The name of those, it's not Hebrew. Hebrew just those who, and it can't be the ones who cross the river are the Israelites. Because in the dictionary, matter of fact, let me go get this. Ooh, bigger than me. We're going to go straight to the word Israel. And they tell you who you are. Israelite. You saying your nationality is Israelite? Israelite, which is a noun. Now, don't forget, in the ancient Semitic origins, the Canaanite god was El. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. The Canaanite god was El. El. My appellation is Yusuf Mutadiel. I'm Canaanite Moor by bloodline. My nationality is Moorish American. I'm indigenous to this land, Al-Marak. This is the Moroccan Empire on the Western Hemisphere, North America. I'm home. The Canaanites worship the God's name, who was not a name, but basically his title was God. And it's El. The title was El. Islam. The definition of Israelite in the dictionary is a noun. Latin, Israelita, Israelita. Greek, Israelites, Israelites. A descendant of Israel. From Israel. Hebrew, Yisrael, Israel, Jacob, okay? Literally, champion of God. Now here we go. Isra means Sarah. It's really Sarah, Sarah. Sarah. which means to fight. That's Isra, Sarah. Then you have Israel, El, which means God in a dictionary. And I just told you who El is. El is Canaanite. My appellation is Yusuf Butadi El. I'm Moorish American. Canaanites was Moors. The word Hebrew Israel, the word Israel means Sarah, which means to fight, and Il, who was the Canaanite god in a dictionary.